Faranad, I noticed something interesting during the observation session this morning. One of the fluorines was lifting the slips without asking for help, even though the lifting team was nearby. It wasn't a critical mistake, but it tells me we still have a gap in behavior-based safety.
Exactly. It's not always the big violations. Sometimes it's these small routine behaviors that carry risk. That's where behavior-based safety comes in. We've got to go deeper than procedures and PPE checks.
True. So let's start from the top. How would you explain behavior-based safety to a new roustabout who just joined the rig?
I'd say this: behavior-based safety, or BBS, is about observing how people actually behave while doing their work, and using those observations to encourage safe habits. We're not looking to punish. We're trying to understand why people act the way they do and help them make safer choices.
Exactly. And it's built on behavioral psychology. Remember Skinner's theory? The idea that behavior is influenced by consequences. If a worker takes a shortcut and nothing bad happens, they're more likely to repeat it.
Yes, and that's dangerous. Especially on a rig, like when a roustabout skips tying off his harness at height. If no one corrects him, and the job gets done, that unsafe behavior becomes reinforced. That's why immediate feedback matters.
Let's break it down. BBS starts with identifying critical behaviors, right?
Correct. We identify which specific actions are risky, things like not wearing fall protection in the derrick, bypassing lockout to gout, lifting without help, or walking under suspended loads. Then we train our observers to focus on those.
Right. And observation must be non-punitive. Workers must feel safe being observed. That's where many companies go wrong. They make BBS feel like policing.
Yes, if people feel judged, they'll hide their behavior or even fake compliance. I always tell observers, you're here to coach, not catch. That's the difference between fear-based safety and behavior-based safety.
Let's talk about observation techniques. When I was on the rig floor today, I used a quiet shadowing approach. I didn't interfere, I just watched. After 10 minutes, I pulled one of the guys aside and gave him feedback about his hand placement on the iron roughneck control. He didn't realize his thumb was right near the pinching zone.
That's a perfect example. You corrected a risky habit before it became an injury. And by coaching in a respectful tone, you helped him feel appreciated, not criticized. That's the power of real-time intervention in BBS.
Now let's move into feedback. Feedback is where we make or break the system. What's your technique for giving effective behavioral feedback?
I follow the ABC: model, action, behavior, consequence. I describe the behavior I saw, explain the risk, and link it to a possible consequence. Then I suggest a safer alternative. Like earlier today, I told the floorman, I saw you walking between the catwalk and the pipe racks while a load was suspended. If that load slipped, you'd be directly in the line of fire. Next time, wait until the load clears before crossing. You've got good awareness, just need to keep it tight during lifting ops.
Perfect structure. And did he accept it?
Yes, because it wasn't about blame. I wasn't lecturing, I was showing I care about his safety.
Let's talk about positive reinforcement, which we often forget. BBS isn't just about correcting unsafe acts, it's also about recognizing safe ones.
Absolutely. On this rig, I've seen our best learning come from small praises. When someone uses a spotter without being told, or tags out equipment voluntarily, I acknowledge it on the spot. Positive feedback builds a safety culture faster than rules alone.
That's the path to interdependence, when workers take care of each other. I remember a good moment last week. During a confined space entry, the standby man noticed a misconfigured blower duct and paused the job. The entry team thanked him instead of getting annoyed. That's BBS maturity.
Yes, that's when you know you've moved beyond dependence on supervisors. When safety becomes part of the crew's identity.
What about data tracking? We've been logging behavioral observations for 3 months now. What trends are you seeing?
Interesting patterns. We're seeing fewer PPE issues, but more shortcut behaviors under time pressure. Especially near shift change. When the driller pushes to finish tasks quickly, people start skipping steps.
That tells us something. It means leadership pressure, intentional or not, is influencing behavior. So part of BBS must be engaging supervisors in their impact on crew behavior.
Yes, if the driller doesn't model safe behavior, or silently accepts shortcuts, it undermines the whole program. Behavioral safety must include leadership behavior too, not just frontline actions.
Let's shift to common obstacles. What resistance do you see on site when rolling out BBS?
The biggest one: I don't need someone watching me. Many experienced workers see it as babysitting. They think their years of experience make them immune to risk.
Yes, overconfidence. I often respond by sharing real incident cases where veterans made mistakes. Not because they were unskilled, but because behavior is vulnerable to complacency.
I also remind them that BBS is a two-way process. They can observe others too. Once they see it as peer-to-peer coaching, not top-down surveillance, they begin to own it.
Exactly, and that ownership is what drives long-term success.
Another problem is when management uses BBS data to penalize people. That ruins the system. BBS is not a tool for punishment, it's for learning. I've seen rigs where observations became checkboxes, and workers lost trust.
We have to keep it authentic. Quality over quantity. One meaningful conversation is better than 10 rushed forms. Remember that incident last year? A fluorine had his hand crushed between drill collars. Turned out he was rushing to align pipe without using a tagline. It wasn't a knowledge issue, he knew the rules. But behaviorally, he was under pressure to speed up.
And nobody corrected him. That's the missed BBS opportunity. If someone had observed and coached earlier, that injury could have been avoided.
So to summarize, not in bullets, but in mindset, behavior-based safety is about seeing, understanding, and influencing human behavior. It's about caring enough to speak up and skilled enough to do it respectfully.
Exactly. And on a rig, where one mistake can cost lives, BBS isn't optional. It's survival. It's the heart of safety culture.
Let's include this in next week's Toolbox Talk. Maybe even role-play a coaching scenario.
Agreed. The more real it feels, the more it sticks.